Hi everyone. I thought I would do a video message update instead of trying to write a blog that I usually do. Just because maybe this way you actually get to remember what I look like and things. So yeah, I'll just give you an update of my holiday because unfortunately I couldn't see you over Christmas because I was in Thailand and Malaysia. So yeah, I'll tell you about my holiday. So I flew out on Boxing Day, quite late overnight, with a little stop off in China just to change connection flights, and arrived at Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. Um, big city, which it was kind of odd because it's a mix of like the Malaysian and Asian vibes, East Asia, which have like, I guess, not as much money and things, and things are a lot different. Yet there's this really quite big and rich city in the center of it. Um, but we basically had 2 nights there, one full day really to just explore the city. Really nice. Saw the big famous Petronas Towers, which might be coming up on the screen right now. I don't know really exactly how I'm going to be doing. I thought I could do a video and put pictures on at the same time, but I'm going to have to edit that after I've just recorded this. So, yeah, I assume a picture might have come up then to, to show you what it was like. So that was really nice. And then the next day after that, we flew from Malaysia to Thailand to a place called Krabi. Um, that is there's not much particularly in Krabi, and we wasn't really wanting to see anything, but because what we were going to be doing in Thailand was a lot of island hopping, we had to actually get somewhere on the mainland to then get all the ferries across. So that was sort of more of an introduction to Thailand, which was a much more what I remember of East Asia before. Lots of people out on mopeds and little motorbikes and tuk-tuks and sort of crazy traffic, with lots of Asian food vendors, and yeah, it was that was really nice. Had an evening at the hostel there, and yeah, the next day got a boat across onto the first of our Thai islands that was going to be doing, which was Koh Phi Phi, which is apparently wasn't particularly anything there not so long ago. It's only sort of 12 years old because there was the big tsunami that came across. It was just another one of these islands, and the tsunami essentially flattened all the trees on the lower ground, and then all of a sudden hotels and hostels and bars just sprung up. And from that, it's sort of become like a party capital for Thailand, really. There's only one way to describe it, which is just Magaluf. There's lots of young people from all over. Just there's nothing particularly to do other than drink. We was only really going there because we wanted to be somewhere that was going to be busy for New Year's, and the thing that we'd organised for my birthday was leaving from the island. It was on the neighbouring island, a place called Maya Bay. Um, so that's sort of why I was there, and it was good. It was a good introduction, really. To, I mean, probably, in all honesty, went a bit too heavy. I enjoyed it. It was, you know, again, it was more of easing into the Thailand thing of it being hot all the time, because it was odd. Because thinking of what you all would have been having back home, it was about 30 degrees with 80% humidity. Um, Sort of sunny sometimes, but most of the time it's overcast. But it was quite nice, if not a bit too hot sometimes. Uh, but yeah, I had a really good time there, if not a bit too heavy from, obviously drink and lack of sleep. Staying in hostels, that's not the best way to get sleep all the time. And then it was really looking forward to this thing that I was going to be doing for my birthday, which was to go to Maya Bay, which is it's a famous reserve with a beach. Now there was a film done by Danny Boyle and Leonardo DiCaprio all about this beach. It's called The Beach, about backpackers living on this secluded island, and it's become a real big tourist trap. Like you can get trips there in the day to see the island, but it closes at 6 p.m. and you have to leave. And when you look at all the photos of the tourists, you don't see the beach, you just see all the tourists. But we'd booked this special sleeper board, so that it's basically the only company that can be there after 6 o'clock. And what you do is you have a barbecue and fire and drinks on the beach. Well late into the night, you swim in the sea, and you sleep on the boat, or if it's really good conditions, you sleep on the actual beach. And then this is a hotspot for luminous plankton, which, really looking forward to. It's going to be a great birthday treat. Unfortunately, the morning I woke up of my birthday, Hazel was not very well. We'd gone out the night before, so at first I thought, she's a bit, had a bit too much to drink, but after a while it appeared that something was very wrong, and we had to go to the hospital on the island, and it turned out she had a fever of 39.5 degrees, which is somewhat serious, so she was kept in hospital for all the day and the night. So, the birthday trip that I had planned didn't quite go to plan. And I had to stay on the island for another night while Hazel was in hospital. But these things happen. When we was on the island, we did get a boat trip as well one of the days, so that was quite nice. Just a little unfortunate about that. But I still went out again on that night because I'd met some people. Even I think it was a guy that we had actually met in Krabi, and we parted with on New Year's, and the night before when it actually turned into my birthday. So I went out with him and some of his friends on the night. So I still got to do something, but it was just a bit of an annoying shock. But luckily, the next day, her temperature had come down. She was discharged from hospital, so I was able to leave the island. Like, we'd actually planned that day to go on to a place called Koh Lanta, which I think we was looking forward to and needed, because it's much more of a relaxed island, much more Thai, not so much like, tourist drinking hotspot like Koh Phi Phi was. And yeah, I think we both need, well, Hazel was still in sort of recovery, so we just took it easy when we was on this island. It was really nice going for like runs on the beach when it was the sunset, and it was much more of what I remember of East Asia being like, and it was a much bigger island as well, so there's roads. So we did a lot of things on there, and and Hazel's still recovering, so I went off on my own for a day to go sort of kayaking. Well, I was hoping to go on this boat trip that went on some other islands, but because of there was a storm coming in, they weren't allowed to do it on that day, so I was just kayaking around this sort of like water national park, which was really, really quite nice actually, because it was really peaceful. I was just kayaking on the water. I had my own guide, and there's lots of monkeys in Thailand. A bit vicious, if anything, but I think that's because what of the people have done. But we found more monkeys that were sort of more, not tamed or not influenced so much by humans. And it was really nice seeing that and seeing the wildlife, like little jellyfish about, and all these crazy types of birds that I've never even knew existed. That was nice. And then the second event of things that didn't quite go to plan was the day that we had to leave there, going to a place called Koh Lipe, which is an island which is in amongst other islands, which is a national park. And this was sort of the one we was really looking forward to. Not many backpackers get there because it's quite far down. It takes a 5-hour high-speed sea ferry to get to. But unfortunately that day, the storm that was coming in really took off, and yeah, so the morning we went to do it, it was pouring rain, very, very windy. And obviously, as soon as our pickup came, it was saying, yeah, there's no ferries today. But luckily, Koh Lanta is somewhat close to the mainland. You only have to get a little like 5 minute ferry across a bay to get to the mainland. So obviously none of the sea ferries were running, but they were like, well, we can get you a bus down the mainland, and you might be able to get down further and then get a ferry across somewhere else. But as I was going to the sort of terminal to where we could get this bus, you could see things were really bad. The electricity was knocked out on the island. Houses were being blown away. Um, but yeah, we agreed. We realised we would not get a ferry to Koh Lipe. I don't think anyone could have got to and from Koh Lipe because it's further out at sea. There's big storms, big sea swells, and lots of flooding on the mainland. So they said they would just get us. We just decided, yeah, we'll get this bus as far down as possible on the mainland, so that the next day we don't have to get as long a ferry. And yeah, after it took us about 2 hours to wait for the wind to die down, just so we can get this little 5 minute ferry off the island. And then we were very fortunate because after that point, all the ferries stopped because it was just too bad. I think somebody fell off the ferries and they decided it was not safe. So yeah, we managed to get down on the mainland, and the storm sort of subsided, and they took us to this little resort where we checked in. Was the only real people there, other than other people that had also tried to do the same as us. So we was with and we took the journey down with this young German couple who had a 2-year-old with them, and there was another German lass with us. So it was all at this resort, and it was actually really kind of nice because after the storm had stopped by this point, and we saw this amazing sort of colours in the sky with the sunset, and yeah, this resort was actually really nice because we had a really nice room, and it was just relaxed and sort of good company. So yeah, it was all actually kind of nice. And the next day, the storm had completely disappeared, ferries were running, and we managed to get to Koh Lipe finally, which I'm so glad we did because it was just, I don't think I've ever been so relaxed in my life sitting on this island. There was no sort of like party culture there. I mean, there's lots of resorts and hotels, but everyone's there to chill out really. And I remember we found this little bar on the beach that literally the sea was just 5 meters away. Was having beers, but really making these beers last. And there was just some really quiet but nice chill music in the background, just listening to the sea. And I think we was there for 4 hours. We didn't even talk. It was just the relax of the Zen, and it was good as well because we before we went to that, we really made sure we was going to make use of our only full day on Koh Lipe because obviously we lost out the one night that we should have been there. So we booked a boat trip, and the day was just pure sun constantly. Did loads of snorkeling and seeing. I'm really annoyed that I didn't have an underwater camera because it was just fantastic seeing all the clownfish, angelfish, and all the reefs. It was really quite nice actually, and just yeah, it was really what we both needed. And by this point, obviously, Hazel was a lot better and back to her normal self. And yeah, they sort of gave you food to eat. They stopped on an island, and you get given food, and just it was a really nice day. Got somewhat sunburned, even though being careful putting lots of sun cream on. We both got pretty burnt. But again, we was in the evening, we just relaxed, and it was so nice. And met a stray dog, befriended us, a puppy, and so adopted a puppy for the evening. That was really nice. Yeah, it was really good. But that was already full day on this. Afterwards, we went to the last island, which is actually a Malaysian island called Langkawi. And this is a much bigger island, and it was really quite nice actually, because it was so big that we was considering getting mopeds to get about, but Hazel was a bit nervous about that, and I realised it was such a big island that I wouldn't know how to navigate. So we actually hired a car, which cost, I think, around about £13 a day, which is incredibly cheap. I mean, it was quite frankly a toy car. I don't even know the make of it. But it was really good having that, because I was able to get about all over the island and go see all these really nice attractions. And one of our favourite things was a 3D art museum. So it's art that's been painted at a certain perspective that you can sit in the art and it looks like you're part of it. So yeah, that was nice, and yeah, I just generally enjoyed in a really chilled out last few days in the heat before going back to Scotland, really. So yeah, that was the update of the holiday, and yeah, I really liked it. I mean, there was a few hiccups, but it was really nice to get away. I really do quite like going away at Christmas. I mean, I might try and stay about next year, because well, I definitely need to be in the UK around my birthday anyway, because it's my 30th. So I definitely want to be around friends for that. But yeah, it was really nice, and back to the Scottish weather. I mean, nice and bright today, you'll see, but don't let that fool you. It is -1. But yeah, enjoying that. So that was my holiday update, and I hope I've edited this video well enough to put photos in it. Okay. Bye!